Welcome, Spartans, the podcast evolved your favorite Halo podcast. I'm your host, Oran, and we have the whole gang here today. Let's start with Krysta.
Hi.
And David.
Hello, everybody.
And picking up with Aaron.
Hi, guys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. We are covering our Halo 2018 review episode. We're going to talk about everything that was kind of released or discussed in different moments throughout the year, all things Halo, as well as, some big tidbits in kind of our realm of what we've done for the show. And so if you, have maybe missed some things here and there, maybe taken like a 3-month sabbatical, between like September and November for whatever reason, you don't know what's going on. This is a good episode so you know what was discussed and released when, and you can kind of go back during the nice holiday break coming up and it gets you ready for next year. We'd like to first send a special thanks to our patrons. So we have Alex, Gonk, Matt, Mike, Phillip, and Spencer. Thank you very much for your donations. We just want to continue to do our support for you guys, for the support you give us. If you would like to find out information about our Patreon, please go to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved. Also, be sure to check out our awesome website that Ian puts together seemingly every single day, adding new features and new content for everyone to look at. And with that, let us take a time jump back to January.
That was a long time ago, Oran.
It was a long time ago. Gosh, man, even the summer feels like it was 2 years ago. I'll just kind of go through these different events and news and stuff, and then if there's anything in particular that you guys want to kind of talk about and address, we can kind of linger on them. Does that sound like a pretty good format?
I'm okay with that.
For me.
We'll start with any sort of media that came out. The Smoke and Shadow paperback was released.
I'll stop you right there, Oran. This is pretty... No, not really. Just that it was a really damn cool book.
Okay.
This was the Kelly Gay's follow-up, and it included, like, the first part of it was, Smoke. What was it? Into the Fire? God damn, what was it called?
It's called Into the Fire and Fractures.
And then that was a Fracture story, and then that was the first third of this book, and it kind of continued on, and then it was just so cool. It had Sergeant Forge's daughter, and what she got up to and stuff like that. Is really cool kind of story. It's not a military-based story, which I kind of appreciated. They're like a team of scavengers that are kind of going around, and she has her own objective of trying to find out what happened to the Spirit of Fire. So this was obviously well-timed in terms of like all the Halo Wars 2 kind of story stuff that was happening. But I really liked this book. I thought it was awesome.
It's Halo Firefly, we have to say that. Like, this
pretty
is
much
the closest we're ever probably going to get to it, and I can't wait for the next one.
I am looking forward to Renegades too.
And Smoke and Shadow previously came out digitally in its entirety, is that right? So is it came out all in all before Halo Wars 2 came out, or am I making that up?
I don't know.
I think it was released
Digitally first?
Because I think it was the same sort of situation like Saint's Testimony.
Oh yeah, okay.
In any event, but yes, very good short story. We had some news from Jeff saying that lore live streams would become a thing. 343's been doing their kind of Wednesday, what do they call it? They're like
social streams.
Game nights. Social streams, that's it. And so in there they kind of do throughout the year, I guess now, in retrospect, they've done different lore focus, community focused, and then just general Halo focus, I guess. And so there are some I think we highlight throughout the year, so we'll get to that. We had our 9th loot crate come out called The Great Journey. That was probably part of the Series 2, I think, because Series 3 is on right now.
Yeah, it was Series 2. This one came with the Prophet on the actual hoverchair, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think so. That one was really cool. I really liked that one.
Yeah, it was a cool icon.
Did that one have the gravity hammer pin?
No. You mean the gravity hammer bottle opener?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was it.
No, that was a Series 1.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it had to be... I stopped at box 6, so it had to be before that, because it has pride of place on my fridge.
That must have been the Atriox crate then, or the Banished crate.
I think it was.
And then we had the announcement of new Funko Pops, all Halo-themed Funko Pops for those Funko Pop collectors out there.
Every time I go to Best Buy, I look for Arbiter with the gold armor, and I can never find it.
Is that like an exclusive to Best Buy or something, was it?
Yeah, that one was a Best Buy exclusive.
Didn't they cheat and do a camouflage delete that was just an unpainted Funko Pop? Didn't they have one of those, or is that a different line of them?
I think it was a see-through one.
Yeah.
Isn't that just cheating that it's just clear resin, not painted?
But clever.
What else are you supposed to do with the camouflage delete?
Yeah, that's true.
Aaron, how would you do a camouflage delete, Aaron?
Aaron, how
I
would you
wouldn't
make money
because it's
as a
cheating.
business owner?
I just wouldn't because it's cheating.
It's just an empty blister pack with nothing in it. And it's just like, it's camouflage.
That's actually the John Cena one.
The John
Not,
Cena
you
one?
guys aren't going to get that.
No, I didn't get it.
You don't see me.
Matt in the Discord says just give people a base.
Just a base, yeah. Camouflage delete.
Oh, fuck.
Also, before we move on to February, I should have mentioned at the top of the show that this is not our first live episode, but it is our first episode that we are doing through Discord. And what I mean by that is that we have 3 to 4 listeners currently listening in to our discussion as we record prior to the release. I think it's going pretty well so far. We're about 10 minutes in. So if this is something that works out pretty well and that our listeners find very engaging, let us know, and we can probably do this more often. And if you want to be part of the people who listen to it live and listen to our kind of pre-show banter, let us know, and we'll try to incorporate that into future episodes.
It's kind of strange because we actually started Evolved by streaming it on Twitch with bad audio quality.
Once upon a time ago, that was the early days, way back when. It might have even been before me, technically.
Oh, it was way before you. It was before Aaron, too.
Okay. I mean, I remember listening to episodes live on Twitch, but I think
it was back when we had Nate Bacon on the show as well.
Yeah, it was you, David, Nate, and Drew.
Yeah, but it was even after Nate left, because I don't think I heard... I didn't even know Nate. I think I joined after he left.
Yeah, he left pretty early on.
He did leave early.
We're about to talk about February, when The Rise of Atriox issue 5 was released. That closed the 5-issue arc of Rise of Atriox in that kind of comic strip.
Which is weird because that was like a year after Halo Wars 2 was released.
Yeah, it's such a strange launch.
It kept getting delayed because, like, I don't know if it was just like misinformation or something, but when I was looking at it with Ian back when I was still very involved with doing the website with him, a lot of the dates would constantly change, and before he kind of automated stuff for the stuff, we kept having to update the dates and things because different websites were kind of conflicting. So I wonder if the development had some kind of issues in so to speak.
I don't know. It's definitely, I think we did it for the book club. It's a comic book that it loses a lot coming to it after Halo Wars 2 because they're just really...
It goes over already tread ground.
Like, one of the issues is just the intro cutscene for Atriox.
It would have been a good hype beast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
After the fact. We would have had a lot to talk about Atriox too, because we were really engaged in who he was and what was going on when the game was coming up to release. So it would have been nice to have that information beforehand.
Yeah, totally.
And then you get to see like the intro scene. Oh, it's actually animated. Isn't that so cool? Instead of being like, well, this is just the game.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the comic.
Yeah, I wonder if it had some production troubles, or maybe it was not necessarily an afterthought. I don't know. Once you're so far a development path, it's hard to kind of backpedal. So
I think it was Jeff and Frank O'Connor just couldn't get over the Atriox's tie. That was a big conflict in the studio, and you only see him in the tie during some of the commercials. But I know that was a huge thing between developers.
Now that I think about it, I think I did read an article where they actually had to redraw the entire comic strip to remove his tie.
Yeah, that was what was delaying it so much.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. You figured it out.
So that was our big release of February, but kind of getting into sort of just little news bits. We had the MCC update program and kind of how the kind of flight initiative that 343 did to get people involved in the test realm, if you will, the PTR, as they say on the PC front, of how they updated and fixed a lot of the networking issues with the MCC. So we started hearing more and more details in the early part of the year.
It was really nice, just in this year in general, all of the support that MCC has actually got and how much 343 has acknowledged the problems that MCC has had and have actively tried to fix them.
Yeah, they've done a great job. And having that team dedicated to just doing that was a big deal. Because I remember when they announced that. I didn't think it was February, but it must have been. Where they actually brought it.
Oh, no, they announced it like a year ago from today. Or not today, but it was like fall of last year when they announced that they were going to investigate.
Yeah, and then it was February before they gave specifics on it about what they'd do and how they'd figured out what we were going to get for it.
We're holding our last week on Halo segment for our January episode, but last week I played some Halo 3 for the first time since they did the 4K update this past week, and my goodness, that game looks so good.
Did you play it co-op?
I did.
By chance? How was the co-op doing?
It was good. It was pretty stable. We played on Legendary. I didn't really notice I'm trying to think. I don't think it really lagged anywhere.
Really? Because last time we tried it, I think I tried it with either Aaron or David or both.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was like the Cortana cutscenes at all times. And no one wants the Cortana cutscenes at all times.
But then again, to be fair, when we used to do game night back in the day and it was co-op game night, me and David were very used to bad lag because it was fine until we played with someone. Is Master Chief Collection still hosted co-op for campaign now?
I don't think they have dedicated servers for co-op. I think it's hosted by the person who invites everyone. The leader.
I think they switched the dedicated servers for the multiplayer, though.
Yeah.
That was part of the whole big update in the flight program, so that's why the matchmaking is better to a degree. But no, yeah, that might just be because of the ocean between you guys, because I was playing with my friend from Texas, so I think it was pretty stable. But I don't know. I think I was the host, so I don't know. Maybe he had lag that he just didn't mention. So Halo Wars 2 was added to Game Pass, which is one of the first. Just have a note here. Yeah, if you're unaware, all future released Microsoft Studio titles will be first to Game Pass day and date of their actual release date. And so Halo Wars 2 is part of the kind of catalog that came out a little prior to this sort of announcement. So they were kind of retroactively adding everything into Game Pass prior or after those releases. So I think they're pretty much up to date by now with games like Forza and Gears of War.
I don't think they have the old Forzas. They haven't added them in yet.
Well, they have Forza 2, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking of Games with Gold.
Games with Gold gave all those out for free.
They're backwards compatible, but I think it's only current Motorsport and current Horizon that are in Game Pass. Some of the old stuff's missing because I think things like, well, it's not first party, but like Sunset Overdrive and stuff like that.
Well, I think there's like licensing issues with like music soundtracks and just the cars, I think, are why because I think I saw on Twitter or something.
It shouldn't make any difference. Well, if you can still download it as a Games with Gold recently, I'd imagine you might be able to, but...
Well, I think that may be why like Forza 3 may not be on there yet, because Forza 3 is still relatively new. Maybe it hasn't hit that threshold to where they can release it. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling, but I feel like I read that on Twitter or something like that.
Could be. But anyway, the only reason I threw this in is because this was the reason I signed up for Game Pass. Not specifically for Halo Wars 2, because I already had that.
The announcement?
Yeah, this was the single biggest thing for the start of the year for me, because I haven't... Not that there've been that many first-party games, but I haven't bought any since. And I don't think I plan to.
Yeah, I got it. I played State of Decay 2 when it came out, and that was a good game where, like... I got it because of the Game Pass, because otherwise I would have never bought it, and I feel like I got a pretty good enjoyment out of it. But it's always there if I want to go back. All right, so moving along, a movie was released in February, not a Halo movie, but Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One came out, which had a bunch of pop culture references thrown throughout over the past like decade of just entertainment. And Spartans made their, I guess, not a debut, but just an appearance in there, and sort of the end of the film. Did you guys see the movie?
I loved Ready Player One. I just thought, not because of the story, but just because of how much of a visual marvel it was. It was just very entertaining for the eyes. Also, it was funny.
It was funny. We went to see, I forget which movie, but it wasn't ready yet. So he was like, well, if you guys just want to sit in the theater and watch the end of Ready Player One, like, you can do that. And so we did. So we literally watched like the final like battle, which is where like all the crazy stuff happens. And like 5 minutes after we sat down was the Spartan scene. I was like, yay, cool. All right. I don't need to see the rest of the movie now.
I mean, that is the most important scene, but it was really cool to see Spartans, I guess. We don't know what Spartans they were supposed to be, but just seeing Spartans run around. And also some of the Halo weapons are actually used by non-Spartans in the game, like the rocket launcher, the spanker.
Oh, they do, yeah. They do assault rifle at the very start. Cool. And the spanker in the middle of it somewhere.
The spanker, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the big fights. It was such a cool thing to see, seeing Spartans on the big screen. And I liked that they did that in Ready Player One, that they updated it for like current gen games, because that kind of makes sense. And whatever your feelings are about the book or the movie, it was still really cool to see Spartans in the cinema. And they looked beautiful.
It was really cool that 343 and Microsoft actually pulled it off and was able to license out their IP too so freely and so nicely.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. They had like a Lancer from the Gears of War, and it was like, they were just like swiping, and it was like all these weapons. I was like, oh, look, it's a Lancer. Like, there's probably freaking hundreds of those in there. All right, moving on to March. So let's see. Aside from my birthday in March, Mission Debrief started in sort of our realm. That's our bonus show that we have that is headed by Colin, and then Krysta and David appear on that pretty regularly. I think Aaron and I have appeared on a couple episodes. Wow, holy cow! I guess it is in March since we've done, or you guys have done so many episodes.
It's crazy.
That's been a really fun experience to go through, because we actually got through 3 games this year. So we went through Reach, CE, and Halo 2.
And then when does the last episode of 2 scheduled to come out?
I think it's Friday. Has it already come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be on Friday.
Okay. So, right, you're kind of recap of the whole game.
Yeah, so that'll give you guys some content well into December until we decide to turn back on our Xboxes in January and start up Halo ODST.
I'm looking forward to playing that. And like I said in the review show, it's a very weird way to play a video game. 1 mission a week over how many weeks? It's so strange. I'm used to it because we've been doing MD all year, but it is just still a very strange and bizarre way to play a video game. But I've enjoyed it. It's kind of cool to think at one level at a time and just to mull that over. I don't know. I think the show does really well. I'm really happy with it. I'm proud of what we've done this year.
What would you say? Are there anything that you can think of off the top of your head that kind of a new piece of trivia or information, or just like a new perspective of some element in one of those games that you think came out because of the way Colin formats the show?
I think we were able to kind of dig pretty deep in lore stuff and actually expose just some of the book lore to the actual games, and able to really kind of join the two. Because they're so separate. You read the books, you play the games, it's so very separate, but it's nice to talk about both in one setting. Especially mission by mission.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool. I mean, there's been loads of random bits of trivia that I've kind of dug out of Halopedia, because I do each mission separately, so I can't think of anything crazy off the top of my head, but there's been loads of like, oh man, I never knew that happened.
From having listened to you guys this last few weeks, the biggest thing I think you've learned is Krysta figured out what a Revenant is.
No, Spectre. A Spectre. That's what it was.
I completely forgot about that.
Krysta didn't know this vehicle existed, and I thought that was pretty goddamn ridiculous.
No, I didn't.
Are Spectres in the main games or only in Halo Wars?
See?
They're in Halo 2.
It's not just me.
I don't know.
It's not just me. Spectres are a myth. Spectres are fake news.
Also with us is when Ian started his Blogging Evolved sort of section of our content. I don't know. I haven't checked his latest ones. I'm not sure where he's at now, but I think he does about
I
1 or 2 a
believe
month?
his last one was on Mjolnir armor, if I recall correctly. If only we had a website I could check.
Yeah, I think that was the most recent one. I remember seeing a bunch of the armor specs. When is Ian going to teach us how to make nukes?
That comes in a later issue.
Oh, okay.
He can't do it too soon, because then people will make the nukes and then land them, and then we won't have any more. Or
But then
we wouldn't have.
Then we'll get Fallout 76 in real life.
I'm not sure
don't
we
say
want
that.
to go there. Yes, Ian's last blog is about Mjolnir. We were all right.
Yay.
We're the best. 10
See,
out of 10.
Ian, we do pay attention.
On the news front, Silent Storm was announced in March, and the Spartan Field Manual was leaked by Amazon. Thanks, Amazon.
That was really funny, yeah.
And then Super Bomberman came out, or was already out, but Master Chief made an appearance in the game. I'm unaware of this. That sounds pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, it's just a skin.
Yeah, it's just a skin. We kind of skimmed over it, but I think Chris played it, because I remember him talking to me about it.
It was just a random Easter eggy thing in the game. It was very bizarre.
But like Bomberman of all games, like that. I wonder if they were just like, hey, can we put Master Chief in our game? We're like, oh yeah.
I don't know why though. It's just such a strange thing.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see, so Mega Contracts and Infinity announced. So is that an Infinity?
That is the giant $300 Mega Bloks Infinity, the big
31
one.
inches.
It's the one that you put up all nice on a shelf that you took 5 hours to make and instantly falls off the shelf and breaks.
Oh, this thing would take days, I'd say, to make. It's huge.
It's like the equivalent of like the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, but I think those are
like in Lego, because
Yeah.
those kits are like $800. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy. Crazy
You
money.
can build this in a couple hours. I don't think it'll take days. Look, this kid's so happy on Amazon.
I know, but all the Amazon people are happy.
Yeah, it's like a cult.
All right. And lastly, we have the Loot Crate number 10. Let's Get Tactical. And was that one? That
was Sergeant Johnson.
Johnson and
Guilty Spark.
343?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool icon. I like the combination of characters there. It was pretty cool. I don't remember anything else in it, but
Yep,
tactical
same.
I'm
one.
surprised I remembered it.
Was that the one that came with the bag, Krysta? The kind of
the duffel bag. Yeah,
the duffel
I think
bag.
so.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I use that all the time.
Was it canvas or nylon?
It was nylon. Yeah,
But see,
yeah.
no one got upset about that nylon
Yeah,
bag.
exactly.
See, Loot Crate got away with it, but Bethesda,
Baby.
Also, we didn't pay $200 for it.
That is very true.
Slightly different situation.
So we have in April a live stream that Jeff put up for a lore live stream. I think this was the first one where they talked about the Halo array.
This was super cool.
They discussed the real names, or quote unquote real, because different factions and races call them different things. What was the joke that Jeff made? Was it about the different installation 4s, where it's like the community call is installation 4B, but it's not really called that? But if you wanted to call it like Brian or something, you could.
Yeah, yeah. Also, every single stream has so many Dustin echoes. Who's left? Oh, it's only Dustin Echoes. Who is he? What is he doing? The ever mysterious Dustin Echoes. But anyway, this is when he finally named the arrays the senescent array and the neoteric array.
Look at you.
I know. I remember those big words and I don't remember much else.
Well, Krysta got a lot out of that week. So thank you very much, Jeff, for putting that up. It also talked a little bit about the Zeta Halo installation 7, which is where Infinite is supposed to take place. So
But it was
it's kind of
before
a
we
little
knew
bit of
that, wasn't it?
Well, no, I think it was like after the E3 trade. Well, actually, wait.
E3 usually happens in, June?
I thought that this stream came out after E3, but I
No,
guess it
this was out before,
No.
so we didn't know about Infinite
so we
yet.
didn't know. Look at that.
So we were just frothing at the mouth, just waiting.
So then we had Halo 2. Someone on the internet made the Halo 2 TV spot sort of trailer, shot for shot remake in the in the new anniversary graphics. And it looked so beautiful. I remember watching that. They did a really good job remastering that game.
There've been a few awesome video things have come out this year. I think I might have listed one or two of the others, but there's surprisingly still a lot of people just making good video stuff for Halo.
People make amazing stuff.
I must actually go and check. There's an account, and I can't remember the name right now. I feel terrible for it. But they remake every time there's like a new Marvel movie trailer. They basically chop up Halo and try and match it beat for beat, and it's awesome. I think the best one I've seen so far is his take on the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer for Halo 5.
Interesting.
Or no, it's I think it's Guardians of the Galaxy for Halo 2 anniversary. He might have done like the second Avengers for Halo 5. They're very
I want to
good.
see Thanos snap his fingers and all those people from Halo 4 disintegrate.
Oh, that's perfect.
That'd be good. I can't wait for Avengers 4, but that's a whole nother
It's going to be
conversation.
so good. Also, the new Game of Thrones.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very much.
But let's not get distracted. We have 2/3 of a year to go.
Yeah, we
Focus.
still got a lot. Let's see. So the MCC Insider Program started all the way back in April. Did any of you guys participate?
No, I think Ian was the
I
only
think
one.
Ian did.
Yeah, Ian did.
Ian did. Okay. Well, thank you, Ian, for making the game better.
Ian makes everything better.
He does. He does.
We gave away a code for Yap in Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, that was very cool. Thanks for that, Jeff.
Halo skins were announced for Minecraft for the Switch. So I guess they were already out for the PC or for all their platforms, but then when Minecraft came to the Switch, they announced that the pack would come as well. So that's pretty cool.
It's the closest I get to portable Halo.
And then the MCC actually I saw a funny little thing. It was Cloak Chief, or yeah, I guess is what you call him, the Cloak Chief from the that one E3 trailer, and he like looks up, and in the reflection of his visor is the Smash logo.
Oh yeah.
It cuts back, and it's the giant Smash flames, and Chief is silhouetted. Anyway, that'd be pretty funny.
If only Chief was in Smash. I want him to fight the Piranha Plant. I also think it would be comical if we got Master Chief in Smash before Waluigi.
that would be pretty funny. And then lastly, for April, the MCC was announced that it's coming to Game Pass, and we were like, "Yay!" And we kind of expected that, like we kind of mentioned it before. So good for Game Pass owners. May was a pretty good year for us. We interviewed Tobias Buckle. Or not year, month. May was a good year. Each month feels like a year, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, definitely.
We interviewed Tobias. David kind of headlined that episode with the interviews, and it was probably one of my favorite episodes that we've recorded in the past couple years.
The master of Grey Team himself.
It was such a cool and awesome situation. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it obviously led to like more great things for us, and I don't know, it was so super well. He was such a cool guy, and I love doing the interviews. They're stressful, they make me nervous as all hell, but I'm really happy with how they've come out today.
Also, Tobias has the trophy for most chapters in a Halo book.
We awarded him that trophy. that was pretty awesome. Live on air, he won the trophy. He seemed pretty happy with it.
It was also interesting. I was on Reddit, and Ian posted the interview on Reddit, and it sparked some conversations. And like one person had like a what do you call it? Like a too long didn't read sort of a post, and it kind of highlighted a lot of the interesting points, and then people would then branch off and talk about it. And it was interesting to see the Reddit community getting engaged with kind of our episode, and so that felt very rewarding.
That was insane. Yeah, I thought it was
hopefully
really
positively.
Yeah, well, I mean, they talked about the content. It wasn't like they were like, these guys suck. No, it was really good, and I think even it got mentioned on one of 343's community updates. Kind of mentioned.
Yeah, Jeff gave us a shout out.
So thank you very much, Jeff. We should have a thank you, Jeff counter.
Jeffisode.
We're at like 3 already.
Jeffisode Part 2.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Someday.
No, it's the Jeffisode Part 3, by the way, because, never forget.
Moving along, so Halo Online kind of came back. There was a mod that a community, like a group of community members sort of made. I forget what they called it, but they basically made a PC mod that you could download, and it was briefly around, but then got taken down because of sort of asset uses and sort of, it was kind
legal
of a weird
stuff.
little... Yeah, and so 343, I think, reacted pretty well to it and seemed to be very respectful of it, and just kind of said, hey guys, we appreciate it, but because of Microsoft and these technicalities, we have to kind of handle it this way. El Dorito, yes, I think that was...
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
yeah.
you, Scuttlepuddle.
Yeah, this was basically where a lot of people learned what the Microsoft fair use policy was, and why some mods, like Sins of the Prophets, get to stay up and don't get in trouble, and then things like this do. So there's a...
Yeah.
Because like people couldn't sort of figure it out, but there's a fine line between they're happy enough if you make your own assets that look like theirs, just don't use their assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. At the end of the day, Halo is a company that has to protect itself, so it makes sense.
Halo is a company, Krysta, you're right.
It is, yeah. They make money off of us.
Halo is a company that existed in the year of May.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Storm, the cover art and the synopsis was revealed.
I feel like this was controversial.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good point, yeah. Because it was kind of just yet another interpretation of the helmet.
Yeah, there was the armor issue, then there was the Chief story, which was really good, and then there was like, it's a prequel story, so everyone was like, oh, boo. But we all know how that turned out in the end.
I just don't even pay attention to the armor anymore. The armor's so confusing.
Yeah, I'm not an armor guy, I guess. There are people out there who are, and they're pretty passionate about it.
They are, definitely. Well, and it's because, like, the armor is mostly symbolic and just aesthetic. They have some lore behind it, but then they change it every once in a while, like little bits and pieces.
We have nanobots.
Nanobots, yes.
Yeah, I think it's just become like a slippery slope because they just off the gate 343 changed the armor and just said nanobots, and then now it seems that because of that we're almost locked into the Halo 3 sort of Mark 6 looked. Like it almost seems that they'll never be a Mark 7, because even with this Infinite trailer, it's still reverting back to something similar. And I guess they could call it a Mark 7, but it seems that look has become Chief's identity to where it can't really change now.
Reverse nanobots.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Halsey could go back to the second big aesthetic that the Mjolnir armor had, and then just kind of stick with it and just use that instead of changing the look up every single time.
Yeah.
Which would probably be easier for the poor 343 artists who have to redo his model every single time.
Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. Let's see. Fireteam Raven was announced. Was it only announced in May? I guess it was, because it came out in the summer.
Yeah.
Wow, golly. This has been a long year, guys. Fireteam Raven's pretty cool. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's see. The Halo Challenge became a thing on Twitter. Yes, it did.
That was
crazy. For those
crazy.
of you who didn't know, the Halo Challenge is singing the kind of the main Halo theme with the monks in different environments.
Usually in a stairwell or a shower.
I'd forgotten about this. This was cool.
Yeah, one of my favorites was like a bunch of I think it was a frat house of a college, and it was like 30 guys crammed in a bathroom. They were all singing it and kind of just echoing, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I think there was a similar video to that where there's this guy and he's singing and he's recording himself on his phone and he's looking into the camera and he's just singing away on his own, and then he pans around as the chorus kicks in and you realise there's like a football team behind him, and you're going like, that's an awful lot of guys to squeeze into one shower cubicle or shower block.
So that was pretty. I'll have to watch some more of those videos. That was pretty good. Lastly, for May, we had the 11th Loot Crate Arena come out.
Everybody hated this one.
This one was pretty, lackluster, and I guess one of the lowest receptive crate, I think.
Yeah, this one lost a lot of people in our group anyway. When this came out, a lot of people went, nope, I'm hard out on Loot Crate. And I don't think they've gotten them back. Now, the George Crate might get some people back, which is the next one due out as of recording. Just one, yeah. But this one was not a great crate.
No one was happy. It was that icon. That icon really just like killed it for everyone. Like, of all the suits of armor and things they could have done, they picked that suit in those colors, and it was just, yeah.
And when I actually got it, it was really dirty. It was like, it wasn't a well-made or put-together icon either. I didn't like it at all.
Well, I think they've won people back, but
I don't know. I don't really like having more noble team in these other icons, because they already have the statue. So now I have statue and other.
I do think it's kind of weird. Not weird, but a little anticlimactic that, they are focusing each crate on one member. Because, like, what I liked about the first series was, and even the second series to a degree, is that they just were like, okay, what's the point in time or the character or the sort of thing in the whole Halo universe that we want to focus on for this next crate? To have a whole year's worth of these crates dedicated to just the members.
Yeah.
It does seem weird, I'll give you
I'd
that.
rather have vehicles.
I don't get them, so I can't really critique it, I guess. Alright, so June. Big June. We had E3, the giant Halo Infinite E3 reveal at the top of the Microsoft show.
E343, woo!
I did not expect them to do that right out of the bat. I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I sat down, I was watching it, and it was, and I remember initially I was like, oh great, they're making a game to rival
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is exactly my thought. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I hope it's an exclusive, an actual one. And then we were watching it. Then they showed Marines and stuff. And I was like, okay, this could be pretty cool.
They started showing pelicans.
Well, I didn't even, because I was so dismissive of at the very beginning, I literally didn't look at it until I saw Chief's helmet. Was like, holy shit, what?
I turned to my friend before the beginning of the show because I have a couple people over for E3 and we eat snacks and get fat and just scream.
Same.
I turned to my friend and I'm like, I'm going to shit a brick if they announce a new Halo game this year. It was the first fucking thing. The rest of the night was eventful.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then naturally, during E3 is always our anniversary, our birthday for our show. Since we started way back when, right before E3. That was a good time, good episode for us. We had the news that Bravo was leaving 343 to pursue other sort of passions. So he kind of stepped down from his community spot Jeff, I think, got a little bit of a promotion. I think Sketch was also in the flex.
Yeah.
So a little bit of news there. And media-wise, Halo Bad Blood was released.
Yes, it was.
With our good guy Buck. And this is the first bit of media that officially takes place after Halo 5.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And so it was a pretty big hype for the community. And I don't know how everyone's expectations were, but pretty much the amount of information we got post Halo 5 as it relates to post Halo 5 is more or less the sort of level that I kind of figured it would be. It wouldn't be this huge, big, stepping sort of like next chapter, so to speak. I still kind of saw it as a standalone story for the most part.
It did help to set up like what was going on beyond just our little kind of click with the Spartans. Just kind of learning about what civilians were experiencing and what other worlds were experiencing.
My problem with the end of Halo 5 is I found it really hard to tell, like, did the universe grind to a halt? Did everything melt down? Like, what exactly were things like? So we had a couple of... I think we had like one short story. Isn't there a fracture?
It was the short story with her on Meridian, wasn't it?
There's that one on Meridian, and is it Rossback's world? That's the one with...
It is. Hood.
Lord Hood and Osman.
Yep.
You really didn't get much of a vibe, because I kind of assumed, like, at the end of Halo 5, I thought, holy shit, the galaxy's gone into meltdown. Like, everything's on fire, everything's frozen, or dead, or broken. And then you're like... Oh,
that's
well, actually,
definitely
it's
Earth,
not quite
though.
that bad. See, I didn't even catch that was Earth at the end of Halo 5. It just didn't register with me when I played through it the first time. I thought it was like, I assumed it was Meridian or somewhere, and then it was like,
no, I thought
that was Earth. It completely went over my head. So this was nice to like settle that out a bit and help me figure things out.
Help you rest at night. And then we also had the first issue of Collateral Damage, which is the Master Chief-centric comic book. All right, so that was the first half of the year. Very good. Moving on to the second half. July, we had issue 2 of Collateral Damage come out as kind of our big media release. Fireteam Raven started rolling out as well in limited places as another sort of media.
It was really cool to see the social media impact of them slowly rolling it out, because everyone's like, oh, I traveled to so-and-so to play Halo.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like this slow trickle of information and like playthroughs and just people talking about the game as the game started becoming more widely available, which was really fun to see.
Yeah, it definitely was. And even I was kind of at the edge of my seat to an extent, calling up Jacksonville and Orlando, kind of saying, hey, you guys have the Halo thing yet? No? Okay, well, see you later. Or even Atlanta. But yeah, no, I got to play it. I think I talked about that already. It was really, really fun. I recommend any Halo fan try to find a Dave & Buster's nearby and try it out.
And David, we really enjoyed Fireteam Raven, didn't we?
None in Europe, eh?
Thought I heard rumour of one on the go somewhere in the UK, but it's not here.
If you saw Jeff's Christmas buying guide, you can actually purchase one for yourself.
That is true.
Krista, the list of things I would do with $66,000, Fireteam Raven is not on that list.
You could set it up at the local pub and make money off of it.
Hey, then people will be traveling to you.
I like pubs and money.
Yeah, but unless Fireteam Raven's going to do poker, it's not going to go down well in a pub.
Plus, those things are massive. Irish pubs are tiny.
They are pretty big.
This is also true.
Can fill like my living room. But I also live in a small place. But
it's funny that they put out the price recently, though. I thought it was really cool.
Let's see. Oh, the Halo composer. Okay, Kazuma Jinochi?
Nailed it.
He left for 343 back in the summer, which was a little sad.
It caused a little bit of a stir.
Yeah, I think Halo 5 soundtrack is one of the best parts of that entire game, if not the best part, in my opinion. And I'm excited I think he is working... Did they say that he has done some work for Infinite? And that he's not necessarily done, but he did his part? Or do they kind of leave that open?
No, I think what they said was a few weeks before this, while I was going back through the notes, do you remember the controversy when a few 343 people were spotted in the wild with...
Marty O'Donnell. This happened just before this, but then 343 had to... someone in 343 put out a statement saying that Kazuma's still here, he's working on Halo Infinite, everything's going well, and then a few weeks later he left. Yeah. So it's very strange.
I do remember all that, yeah.
There didn't seem to be anything that suggested it was on bad terms, so we were sort of speculating that maybe he was done doing his work and just wanted to move on. Like, there's probably something similar. Well, not quite the same as Marty O'Donnell with Destiny, but like he had a lot of the big music for Destiny finished up by the time the first game came out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, and then they sacked him. But all right. And then sort of the big news in July was that we finally got our first details on the Halo TV show, that in the sense that it was going to start production in early 2019, that it was going to be 10 episodes long, set during the Covenant War, and that Amblin Studios is still attached. That's Spielberg's sort of production company, developed by Showtime, as Showtime's biggest show, I think they said, just the most ambitious, and that Master Chief would be in it, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Or they didn't. Oh, that's another little note here. But yeah, eventually in August, they do announce that Chief will be featured to some degree in the show. Which again is nice and cool, but it's also like, oh, but I want new stuff. Give me new stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't need more stuff. I kind of don't need more stuff in the Covenant War. Although then again, I'll preface this. I used to think prequel stuff didn't interest me, but then we happened to get Silent Storm, which turned out to be pretty good, and ironically probably would have made a really good Halo TV show to introduce people to Halo.
It would have been great, but like they've got to play it safe, and I think they know that. It has to be a hit out of the gate, because the hype and the pressure on them must be insane to get this.
Yeah, it's got to be like a go big or go home situation.
We'll talk a little bit more about the TV show towards the end of the year. But moving into August, like we mentioned, the Chief sort of reveal, Collateral Damage issue 3 came out, was the final issue on that. And then I believe we have those book clubs lined up.
We do? It's recorded. It's in the bank.
Well, I meant like they were already released, but yes.
Oh, no.
So they're going to be, so our sort of discussion on Collateral Damage will be part of our Christmas break, so to speak. So then you're able to get episodes and content that we've kind of put in the bank, as David put it.
I believe that comes out Christmas Eve.
Cool.
Ooh.
So, Christmas present.
There you go. Halo Renegades was announced, which we kind of discussed earlier at the top of the show. A sequel to Smoke and Shadow, right? Or no, just another... Okay.
It's a sequel, yeah.
And so we're excited about that. Do we have a release date for that?
We do now, I think. Yeah, I think it's...
I believe it's coming out in like early January or February. Hang on till I check the great Amazon.
Yeah, it's Q1, I'm sure.
Can we just mention that Renegades was slightly controversial because everyone got excited that there's a robot on the cover?
Yep.
I've not seen this cover.
Have you not? Oh, that's right. You were dead when we discussed this.
I was on my sabbatical.
It's down here on Amazon for February 2019.
Okay.
What the what?
Did you get the cover?
What is that? So that's exciting. A robot, or is that like a...
People think it's a soldier.
Like a Promethean, or...
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's an attractive looking character right there, too.
Don't fall in love with the robots, Oren.
Not the robot, the woman, little woman.
She's got good genes.
Don't fall in love with fictional characters, Oren. Come on.
Yeah, but look at her gun.
Look at her gun, yeah.
I'm excited for a Halo robot human buddy cop game or book, and I hope this is it.
Yeah, so we're excited about that for the next year. Forza 4, this was great. There was a leak that the Warthog would make a return in the Forza series because it was previously in Forza Horizon 3, but one of the motorsports?
It wasn't Horizon.
It wasn't Horizon 3?
It was in the motorsport as like a viewable thing, not drivable. And then it was drivable in number 3. In Horizon 3.
In Horizon 3. So, but for Horizon 4, not only did they bring all that back, but they also had a map that was inspired by the Silent Cartographer mission from Halo CE. And yeah, that was leaked out and everyone was like, oh shit, this is so cool.
And Aaron can confirm it is cool.
It's pretty good, yeah. I think the Warthog's a little overpriced because I never actually unlocked it, which is slightly annoying. So I could only use it in that one race, but I think it was more fun than getting it in Horizon 3. It's just a free car that you could drive around, but there was nothing like Halo themed in it.
So did you buy it with real money then, or was it like an in-game currency?
No, for Horizon 3 you got the car for free, I believe, if you bought... Could have been Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, or if you played, yeah, because I remember getting a code, but I meant for Forza 4.
Oh, for Forza 4, it's in-game currency. I don't think you can buy it with real money. I didn't look into it.
You can play the mission for free, Oran, is essentially it. And in the mission, you get the Warthog. But if you want the Warthog in the rest of the game, you have to pay for it in-game currency-wise.
Okay. You just said it was very overpriced, and I was just wondering what was overpriced.
It was in-game currency price.
One thing I did miss back in July was one of the loot crates, Truth Foretold. I wanted to just go back. Anything interesting in that one? Is that one of the Prophets? What was that crate?
Maybe that was Truth.
Maybe that was Truth on it, and I got mixed up.
Yeah, I get some.
The Great Journey I thought was Arbiter.
Yeah, maybe it was, yeah.
Maybe it was. Which was a cool icon. And then the Prophet of Truth actually is a cool enough icon as well. It suits the style and format of the icons.
Just wanted to mention that real quick. Let's see. So September looks like a big month. It was big for us because we but we started our Patreon.
Yay!
We were talking about it over the summer and trying to get all the details sorted together, and then Ian and the team put it together and launched it. And so congratulations, everybody, and thank you to our patrons again for supporting us. And into the new year, we're going to, we're still thinking of more ways to kind of, put as much, what am I trying to say, support to it as we can. So we're going to just continue to keep that on our minds. Silent Storm was released.
Yay!
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 The Spartan Field Manual was released. Yay! Or
small bit yay.
Yeah.
The MCC was updated.
Yay!
And then we have some other little stuff here. So we have Marty O'Donnell released footage of Steve Vai and Nile Rodgers working with him on the Halo 2 soundtrack.
That was cool.
Was that a cool video?
It was a random release, but a cool video.
Yep, it was like, I think if I remember, it was like 20 minutes of footage just of them in the studio chatting away and talking and playing things. And it was, I think he just posted randomly that he just found a DVD in a box in the attic and decided then he'd post it. So I want to know what else is in Marty O'Donnell's attic.
What else is in that attic?
Can we go and investigate?
We'll organize your attic for you, Marty O'Donnell. Hit us up. Completely for free.
We keep what we find.
Let's see. There was some clever internet fakery resulted in a rumor that Mjolnir armor could pleasure Spartans. Oh boy.
Oh, what?
What did I miss with this?
Does anyone remember this?
I remember this. Only because you told me about it.
Oh my gosh, Kotaku. The name of the article is No, Master Chief's suit does not jerk him off.
Kotaku has some weird stuff going on.
This was a slow news week, I think.
I want to say this was this President's Day weekend? Is that in September?
Do
you have like a holiday? There was like a long weekend holiday.
Was it like Veterans Day or something?
There could have been something like that. I think it was a long weekend, and from what I'd read, one person was in charge of Kotaku and they'd been on Reddit for too long and had seen this and decided they would post an article on it. And so it was brought to our attention. It's funny. It is funny to read through it and see people looking at this fake sheet that someone made. They made a fake page from Fall of Reach, and all these people reading, going, "Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, this is totally like, yeah. I definitely remember Halsey perfectly, like normally conversation telling us, yeah. We sort all this out.
Yeah, this is what it's. This is an image from the fake, I guess, page of the book. Halsey's talking about what's in the suit and all that kind of stuff, and then, quote, one of the benefactors cut her off and say, "Am I seeing this right?" She looked up from her PDA and quoted text. The groin region packs a sexual stimulant designed to reduce combat stress, and yes, it does, but we'll be discussing inquiries on the Mjolnir armor at a later date. This is merely a presentation. Wow.
Spartans don't have a sex drive. Spartans don't have a sex drive.
But they can have sex, Krysta.
Yes, but they're not inhibited by sexual tension.
But it was just funny to watch this creep around the internet and see all these people convinced that was true and just being like, oh Jesus, we have to address this on the show, don't we?
Also, the kids are like 15 at this age when they first get in the armor.
Yeah, it gets into really dodgy territory.
That is, wow.
It really gives the end of Halo 4 a whole different light when she touches his chest plate. That's why Chief was floating in space and not moving.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
And then, lastly, in September, we have the first of Series 3 Loot Crate, Leadership, which is...
That was the Carter one, wasn't it?
Still undelivered to this day, I'll have you know.
Really?
Yep.
To this day.
What happened to your crate?
They're supposed to send me a second one. No sign of the second crate. In January, I will be sending a strongly worded email to Mr. Loot Crate.
Mr. Loot Crate. All right. CC me that. Or actually, no, BCC me on that.
Okay, you have to word it like this. You have to say, the mental toil and anguish I have gotten by not receiving this loot crate is definitely deserving of a Fireteam Raven delivered straight to my house.
I better be getting one of those mythic crates. Did you ever hear of anybody winning those?
No, I don't think anyone in our community has won a mythic crate.
If you want, I can get Ian to add in a Loot Crate I'm sorry tier to the Patreon, and we can tell them as compensation we need 6 months of this.
That'd be pretty good. All right, so that's September. So October, not a whole lot happened, except that you guys interviewed Troy Denning.
Oh, that
yeah,
was
we
interesting.
did. Woo!
I haven't queued it up yet, but that episode is going to be on my sort of like travel list of podcasts to listen to, as well as catch up on just general other shows I've missed. So I'm excited to listen to that and kind of see how that go. How did Troy Denning compare to Tobias in terms of just how he was to interview?
Honestly, they were very similar in terms of we had so many questions in a script, but they just talked so much themselves. They ended up answering a lot of the questions before we could even say them. You know, they were full of great stories. They were just two great talkers. I mean, Troy is a different generation. He's the same age as my father, so I found it very strange talking to a man that age from that generation about Halo when he was a fan of the games before he wrote books for them, which was such a weird thing to think about. Yeah, Troy, he's such a lovely man. We just say he didn't want to read the script. He didn't want the script sent to him. He said, "Nah, I'll just do it off the cuff. That way, you know, the answers will be more accurate." So thought that was kind of hilarious.
Good for him. Oh man, I'm excited now.
Yeah, he was great for that, man. He was just such a truly pleasant, very nice individual, and it was just lovely to get to talk to him. And he was just full of he listened to our book club and called us out on one or two things. And I was
God,
yeah,
yes, he
it
did.
was really great. Yeah, he even mentioned a couple things that we actually missed. He's like, I wish that was a bigger thing. Yeah,
it was kind of cool.
I had to drop out just before the end of the episode, so there was nothing as horrifying as the moment I got to that during the edit. And I was like, oh Christ, he listened to he listened to me talk. Shit. I was like, oh no.
Listen to Aaron shit all over the book.
it's really interesting interviewing all these authors and seeing how consistently 343 treats them. Like, they all have very similar work experiences with 343 employees. So it's nice to see that they are doing a good job.
Well, good deal. Now, did we interview Troy before?
No, this is a brand new one.
Oh, I was thinking of Matt Forbeck.
Yeah.
We interviewed him once, and then we were trying to do a second one. Okay, never mind. What else was October? No, October, not mentioned here, was the big update to MCC where they did like a giant... What did they do? They did like a Halloween sort of thing, but what's interesting with that is that they changed the splash images, and then I think you can change the different images now for like when the games pop up.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but yeah, it's supposed to be doable.
So that's pretty cool. And then we had the release of Forza Horizon 4 in October, so going back to kind of the inclusion of the Halo map and the Warthog being in there. So November, not a whole lot happened in November, but one of the social streams, Sketch, was joined by Frank O'Connor, and they streamed themselves playing the Halo 2 E3 demo that I guess was available on the floor when Halo 2 was being shown.
No, this was on the show.
This was the video demo. You know, the one that they bet you can't stick it?
Oh, where they're going through the city?
Yeah.
Through Metropolis? So they played the demo, but it wasn't like a playable demo on the floor. Okay, I see. Okay.
They talk through it on the video, but this was like they said at the time they were told this was basically stitched together, and if you didn't stick to the path, you would cause it to melt down. But while they were playing it, it turned out to be surprisingly robust. I don't think it ever crashed the whole time. It was really cool to watch because like there's lots of weird things to see in it, and just it's interesting seeing like this bit of Halo 2 be played that we'll never get to play.
That demo's a piece of Halo history though, do you know what I mean? It's really iconic.
Part of me secretly wishes they would just like figure out a way to stick it into the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It would just break the game. Well, all right. Then also in November was the last loot crate of the year, which is Scout, all about June. We talked about that one most recently, I believe.
You get a very dapper scarf.
Yeah, it's a cool crate. I liked it. The shirt was nice. Icon was cool. Data drop was super lame.
Yeah, the data drops have gotten worse and worse.
Definitely.
That's a shame. All right, so now we get to December. So we still had quite a bit of stuff talked about. Let's see. So on the media side, we have the hardcover of Halo Collateral Damage released. So if you wanted to have a kind of nice bound sort of book for that, that can be available, or that is available for you. But then also, the Halo Omnibus Volume 1 was released, and this is the paperback version or edition that is currently out. So what is this?
It is a paperback version of the library edition. And the library edition, there's Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're basically two hardback covers of all the Halo comics, along with extra stuff and like added detail. So they put it out as a hardback edition, and I think I said at the time when I got Volume 1, you could kill a man with it. Is a serious heft. It is probably the biggest book Halo related there has ever been.
Damn.
You could get Halo Omnibus Volume 1 and Volume 2 and have essentially every Halo comic related media and 2.
Yeah, you can get Library Edition 1 and 2. They only have Omnibus 1 at the minute, and I think that goes up to...
It must just be Dark Horse stuff, right, though?
Yeah, it includes everything up to the end of Escalations. I don't think it includes all the Marvel stuff.
So I guess what's the difference between Omnibus and Library Edition?
Hardback and paperback.
That's it.
And the price, because the hardback library edition was kind of pricey. I think I paid like 45 quid for it.
Yeah, but hardback is so much nicer.
It really is.
It was a big boy expensive book. Up until this, I think the only other hardbacks I own are the hardbacks of the Forerunner trilogy, which I really like.
I also have Silent Storm in hardback.
Oh, I didn't know that came in hardback.
Yeah, it did. Yep. Pretty good.
I would like hardbacks of all my novels, but that's just going to put the cost up.
Yeah.
I might be murdered if I do that.
well, you can always murder first with the library edition.
Murder first. Yeah, that's all the problem.
And then you can talk about me on the news.
Last week in Halo, I
committed a felony with a big book.
2 big books.
So getting to the news bit that's happened this month so far, the HCS Grassroots Community Initiative was announced, which is an initiative that 343 and the Halo Championship Series specifically are putting together to partnership with community programs to allow for tournaments and organizers to kind of come in and create their own sort of content for what they want to do. And is it like just general content, or is it for like smaller type of tournaments?
I think what spawned this is, I didn't put it in here, but there was a community driven competition for Halo Wars 2, and 343 like contributed prizes and a few things. I think the winner got to like sit down with 343 and talk about rebalancing some of the characters in Halo Wars 2. And then this came out later, so I think this is just like if you're doing a tournament, we'll support you, whether it's maybe some prizes or some, advertising and things like this. It seems to be just a way to like help competitions along and help the smaller guys make things a bit bigger. So like the Halo Bowl is the sort of thing that seems prime for next year. Just putting that out there. If there was, a community-driven competition.
Community-driven Halo podcasting type of interesting. All right. We also got news from the show about the Showtime TV show that the director and producer Rupert Wyatt has dropped out of the project. I kind of talked about this in detail last episode, sort of speculating what, maybe the reasoning, since all we know all that's been said is that kind of conflicts and scheduling no longer align. And so I feel that the most likely and most optimistic sort of detailed response to all this is just that there had some production trouble, and so it kind of delayed the show a little bit, and Mr. Wyatt is kind of unable to keep to that schedule for whatever personal reasons. So hopefully that's just all it is. It's not anything major like, different creative vision discussions and disagreements. But we'll kind of continue to monitor that as we get into 2019. Maybe the show will get delayed enough for me to work on it. But anyway, so that I don't think that's any big news it's big news, but I don't think it's anything to stress over. Sort of the last little detail that we have here is the continued support for the Master Chief Collection. They added something called the Match Composer, which I just read about a couple weeks ago, which I think is really, really cool. Basically, you get to change your preferences of what type of Halo match you want to play, because doing matchmaking over 4, technically 5 different matchmaking games / engines, you can search pretty broadly but still not get the matches and the game types and the maps you want to play. So to have this sort of tool is supposed to alleviate some of that within reason. So I think that's a really cool feature. They also augmented their quitter ban system, and it has reduced quitting by 50%.
Pretty successful.
Pretty good. So thank you very much to the MCC development team that continues to support that. It's good to kind of see that development. Something that's not on here that I would like to add that we were talking about in our pre-show was that this past Wednesday on the latest 343 community stream, they talked about the making of the Halo Infinite E3 trailer, and in there they kind of discussed their goals and their sort of motivation, their principles, their direction that they were going for. And then I personally only watched about half of it because I just found out about it like today or yesterday, so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the rest of it. But I recommend everyone to check it out if you're into seeing like how they make that kind of stuff. I mean, they don't give any new details or any new scoops for what Infinite's going to be about, but it's still very interesting if you're a Halo fan, just to kind of see and listen to how they made decisions, what they were thinking, and kind of how it came together. And I think it also kind of gives us an idea of what to expect kind of going forward for the future sort of marketing things that we get for Halo Infinite in the new year and beyond.
Yeah, I think I'll watch this one over the holidays. I've seen a lot of interesting screenshots come out of it, so I think I'll just sit down and maybe have a nice relaxing beer and use my Gravity Hammer beer bottle to open it, and then just sit back and watch some Halo stream. It's a shame we can't do Snap anymore with picture-in-picture, because then I could have played Master Chief Collection while watching it.
It's true, yeah.
It's not a shame. That's perfectly fine that that's gone.
I don't think anyone really used Snap.
No, to be fair, I can't just put my iPad on the coffee table in front of me.
There you go.
Also, to be fair, I'll not be playing Master Chief Collection. I'll probably be back in Star Trek Online.
Boo! Spend another $500.
I've played it for 20 days.
God
Ew.
damn. It's a lot of hours,
I can't wait to play more Halo. I might play more Halo after this episode. But also the Halo Bowl is going on, so I might watch that actually. Support our team.
2018. Yay, 2018.
Yay,
2018. Good job. Do we want to talk about kind of what we thought, like what our favorite thing was for the year, or do we want to just kind of end it here? I know that was kind of a discussion that we had.
Favorite thing, Silent Storm.
Silent Storm.
Yeah, Silent Storm. I'm going to go with that too.
Also, Infinite release. The first trailer of Infinite.
That was cool.
Very hype.
It's hype. It's scary because it's going to be different. I've got weird feelings about Infinite. I think it's going to be unlike anything what we expect.
It's going to be like Fortnite.
I know, man. That's what scares me. It's going to be Battle Royale, Fortnite, everything.
I can't wait to see Master Chief doing the default dance.
I told you this. There'll be Warzone 2.0. It'll be fine. It'll seem suspiciously like Battle Royale, but it won't be. You'll be okay.
I'd much rather have more Warzone than Battle Royale, honestly.
I would play a Halo Battle Royale, and I don't play Battle Royales, but I'd be curious to see what a Halo's take on it would be. But at the same time, I don't want it to take up all of what Halo multiplayer is, and as little as I play that, I still love it.
Yeah, I think Battle Royale's got kind of a negative connotation now because it's so closely associated with Fortnite. Anyone who wants to come out with a Battle Royale mode means they're immediately copying it.
Yeah, true.
Plus, the other thing is, by the time this comes out in 2020, there won't be Battle Royale anymore, so...
Yeah, that's true. Fortnite will be dead.
Because it's definitely not coming out next year.
That's
true. No, definitely not.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
That'd be a really great E3 announcement, though. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, but I just don't see that happening.
Don't give your hopes up, people.
I reckon 2019 is going to be a lot like 2018 in terms of the year of Halo. We're going to get some comics, we're going to get some books, we're going to speculate about the craziness that is the Halo TV show.
Do we think we'll see some of it before the end of next year?
Hopefully.
Well, if Oran thinks there's delays in filming, that the schedule's being changed, and that directors need to drop...
I mean, I could still see it dropping at the end of the year if they film and in, January to April, even to March, or I mean, even to May. I think it's still within reason to release it in the in sort of the late fall sort of time frame. I think that's, not unheard of.
Hopefully, because that'll definitely end up being the biggest thing next year, because there's no other game. What if they did another iPad game or mobile game?
No.
I think they're done with them.
I think they have to wait on Halo Infinite just because of how lukewarm the community took Halo 5. Yeah. I think they really have to. The next big title in the franchise has to be a break down the door success.
Also, I don't know if you guys follow Diablo at all, but BlizzCon announced a mobile Diablo game after previously saying that they don't have big news for Diablo because people were saying, oh, they're going to announce Diablo 4. And, the whole Diablo community was just, they're
still so mad. Yeah, they were booing during the presentation and stuff.
One of the fans went on the question, was like, is this an April Fool's joke in December or November? And the guy was like, no. And, the whole room was just, so awkward.
They even asked if they have any plans to just bring it to PC, and they're like, nope, not that either.
But, I mean, Halo already has their mobile games, technically.
Yeah.
What if we port Halo Wars to Switch?
That'd be nice, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't.
The phone universe, at least, is partially Microsoft, because they have their own phone.
The only cool thing, or, worthwhile thing that would be, that I can see happening next year, since we're not getting Infinite, most likely, is if they bring Master Chief Collection to the PC.
Yeah, that would be nice. People would be really hyped about that.
That's the only thing I can really see game-wise them doing, because they're not going to remaster Halo 3, they're not going to remaster Halo Reach, there's no reason to put even current Halo Reach in Master Chief Collection, because one, Master Chief's not in it. And it just, to put effort into that and not put effort into a PC port of MCC, given all the updates and support they've been doing to MCC, it's just, I don't know. It's a waste of resources. Either do nothing and focus on Infinite, or if you're going to do something, give us MCC on PC. Because that's what, a bunch of people have been asking for in the community. And it seems to be the number one thing.
Yeah.
They could do whatever they want. I just hope that I like whatever they do.
Yeah.
I just don't really see them doing a whole lot.
I'm wondering, we didn't put it in the notes, but before we go, will we do one prediction each for next year and see if we get it right?
Sure. Someone take a pen and remember this.
Ian will make a page on the website for it.
Make a whole page, 2019 predictions. All right, well, I don't know. Do you have one that you know of while we think of something?
It might be off the wall, but my prediction for 2019 is pre-Halo Infinite, post-Halo 5, story DLC for Halo 5 to get people hyped.
That would be so cool.
That's interesting.
Game content then? So another Osiris story or something?
Halo 5 content, that'd be really cool.
Well, I'm thinking it'll tell you how Chief ends up on the Halo, how that Pelican crashed. Just like a 2-3 hour little, maybe 2-3 missions just to get you there. It finishes with flying, kind of like the end of Halo 4, except the Pelican crashes because Pelicans have to crash.
I think we'll get a release date-ish at E3. I think we'll get more Halo Infinite E3, and I think they'll probably give us a release date, and it probably will be 2020.
Do you think we'll get gameplay?
At E3? I don't know. I'm going to go with yes. Go on. We're going to get more. We're going to get a lot more. I think their big focus at E3 this year, especially with no Sony, is going to be all in on Halo. And I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
I think they're going to kill it in terms of this is the reason why you want an Xbox right now.
Do you think, kind of like the Halo 5, Poncho Chief trailer? Do you think he'll just walk on stage and, murder Sony's corpse and crack their back across his knee?
I think the Poncho Chief trailer was the first trailer for Halo Infinite, because it had the I don't know what's going on, what is this, and then the epic reveal of the helmet at the very end.
Yeah, that was the Poncho Chief trailer. Now we're going to get the real trailer.
Oh, can I go for one more prediction? We're finally going to get fucking Mendicant Bias in some lore somewhere.
Oh, please.
Because I'm so sick of being cock-teased about it.
Do you want to go next, Oren? You want me to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next because I'm basically going to piggyback off of David a little bit, to where I predict that 343 will do a similar pipeline of Infinite to 5, which kind of hits the same beats that David's talking about. But to be more specific, we'll get like a gameplay demo at E3, and we'll get more sort of information. We'll get a 2020 release year, not a date. We'll get a beta, like a multiplayer alpha or something, about December, January time frame, just like they did for 5. The Halo TV show will come out prior to that, much like Nightfall did, and they will, during the summer, they'll kind of amp up a little bit of the TV show and try to make that be the big content for 2018 is the TV show, since I don't think we're going to get any sort of new game or new DLC. We'll just kind of continue to get the support for Halo 5 and MCC. So, and in that way, it then sets the stage for 2020, which is whatever it's going to be. But I think doing that in 2019 sets the stage for 2020. And so E3, that's a whole separate prediction, but I definitely think they will show gameplay, probably not like any multiplayer gameplay on the show floor or anything, but I think they'll kind of follow the suit of what they did for Halo 5. Because it worked well for Halo 5. I mean, like, the marketing and kind of the lead up and everything that they did for Halo 5, I thought was, like, really good. And it was, like, the most excited I've been for, like, one of the Halo games. It's just other aspects of Halo 5 is what failed.
Maybe a live action trailer or something.
I will also say, since they're supposed to do it every game now, we'll probably get some kind of beta announcement, some kind of beta date.
So I can see that being towards the end of 2019, kind of like what they did for Halo 5, where they had the beta, 6 months before the game came out.
Yeah, they're totally going to do something like that.
I'm really sad that we couldn't get a Halo Infinite beta in Crackdown 3.
That would have been pretty great.
Just to come full circle.
It'd be funny even if they mention it. If it's just something on the box or something, that'd be pretty funny.
Maybe Crackdown 3 will have DLC and they'll pair it with that.
Ooh. Master Chief Armor.
Very nice.
Krista?
I think George is still going to be dead.
Fuck you.
Oh my goodness. That was perfect.
That's literally my prediction.
Well, all right. Thank you guys so much, the listeners, the patrons, and you guys for kicking off, or keeping the show strong in my absence. And I'm excited for 2019 to get back into it. 2018, was a huge year for us. I think we really built on a lot of the stuff that we started in motion in 2017. So yeah, and I think 2019 will probably be a little bit similar to what we had this year in terms of Halo content. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just setting the stage for Halo Infinite. So I wish everyone happy holidays and all that kind of stuff. Any final thoughts from the rest of the team?
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for supporting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Live podcast, woo!
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone, because I'm still amazed that we still get to do this podcast, and it didn't... Actually, we have 2 podcasts. That's what amazes me.
We really do. We really do.
We went from 1 podcast to now we have 2 podcasts. We have extra hosts that never cross over. Like, this is insane.
We have, and then like the website, it's even its own entity as well. Like it really... It started off as just kind of being, we need a website so we could host stuff and we need to make it look kind of nice. But I mean, Ian just really went with it to where now it's its own thing. Like you can almost grab it out of the computer, if you know what I mean. So that's a good point, because Mission Debrief, isn't like another section of the show or like a bonus episode. It really is its own thing.
We're a network now.
We did it, guys. Well, everyone from the Evolve crew to all of our listeners and everyone, thank you very much for a good year. And we have some cool book clubs in store for you. We will come back around the 14th of January-ish. Roundabouts there.
I believe so.
That's if memory serves.
Gives us about a month, yeah.
So we'll let you know what we've been doing in Halo over the break, kind of talk about some predictions for the new year. And with that, everyone, evolve.
Evolved.